Have you ever heard of the Appalachian Mountains? This vast, breathtaking region isn't just known for its stunning landscapes and endless hiking trails. Beneath the beauty lies something far more sinister, a place steeped in chilling legends and unsolved mysteries that have terrified locals and visitors for centuries. From ghostly apparitions to strange disappearances, the Appalachians have been home to some of the most spine-chilling stories in North America. Whether these tales are rooted in truth or born from fear, one thing is certain. The Appalachian wilderness holds secrets that may never be explained. Today, we'll uncover 10 haunting legends that will make you think twice about venturing into these ancient forests. Some say they're just stories, while others swear by their terrifying encounters. Whatever you believe, these tales are sure to send shivers down your spine. So, take a deep breath, dim the lights, and join me as we explore the mysteries of the Appalachian Mountains. But beware, not everything you're about to hear is just a tale. Let's dive into the unknown with number 10, but don't underestimate the terror. Every legend on this list could keep you awake at night. 10. The Mist Man. Imagine you're hiking on a clear, sunny afternoon. The forest feels alive with the sound of chirping birds and rustling leaves. Suddenly, without warning, a thick fog begins to roll in. It's not an ordinary mist. It's heavy, cold, and almost alive, muffling all sounds around you and making it nearly impossible to see. This phenomenon is known as the domain of the Mist Man. Locals claim that this shadowy figure appears only in the most remote parts of the Appalachians, often at dusk or during sudden weather changes. Witnesses describe him as a tall, dark silhouette, shrouded in the fog, standing motionless in the distance. The Mist Man doesn't move or speak. He simply watches, and those who've seen him describe an overwhelming sense of dread, as if the air itself is pressing down on their chest. One of the most chilling accounts comes from a group of hikers who were exploring the Misty Hollow Trail. As the fog enveloped them, they heard faint whispers calling their names. Turning around, they saw a dark figure standing still in the distance. They tried to approach, but the figure vanished. Hours later, when they finally made it out of the trail, they realized one of their group members was missing. His body was never found. Only his boot, lodged high in a tree, 20 feet off the ground. Legend has it that the Mist Man is the restless spirit of a trail guide who led his group into a deadly storm, losing everyone, including himself. Some believe he searches for lost hikers to guide them to safety, while others think he lures people into the fog, never to return. 9. The Ghost Lights of Brown Mountain. The ghost lights of Brown Mountain have baffled people for centuries. These mysterious orbs of light, glowing in hues of blue, orange, and white, appear above the treetops, floating silently through the night. The first recorded sightings of these lights date back to Native American tribes who believed they were the spirits of fallen warriors wandering the land they died protecting. In the 19th century, miners began reporting the same phenomenon, but their stories were far more unsettling. Many claimed to hear screams and cries echoing through the valleys just before the lights appeared. One of the most terrifying accounts comes from 1867, when a group of miners ventured deep into the mountains in search of gold. They reported seeing the lights hovering above their camp at night, followed by strange noises and inexplicable movements in the trees. By morning, 2 men were gone without a trace. The remaining miners fled, vowing never to return. Over the years, scientists have proposed various theories to explain the lights, ranging from natural gas emissions to atmospheric reflections. Yet none of these theories account for the lights' erratic behavior or the eerie feelings they inspire in those who see them. Some believe the ghost lights are spirits, guiding or warning those who venture too far into the mountains. Others think there's something far more sinister, a sign that the land itself is alive and guarding its secrets. 8. The Birdmen. High in the remote, rugged peaks of the Appalachians, people speak in hushed tones of the Birdmen, terrifying creatures with humanoid bodies, massive wings, and glowing red eyes. These beings are said to haunt the most isolated areas, their presence often heralded by strange, high-pitched cries that echo for miles. Witnesses describe these creatures as part man, part bird, with wingspans of up to 15 feet and talons sharp enough to tear through trees. One chilling account from the 1950s tells of a logger who was working alone in the woods when he heard a deafening screech overhead. Looking up, he saw a massive shadow circling above the trees. The creature dove toward him before pulling up at the last second, disappearing into the sky. Another story involves a family camping near a remote lake. In the dead of night, they were awakened by the sound of enormous wings flapping above their tent. The next morning, they discovered claw marks on their vehicle and feathers scattered around the campsite. Feathers unlike any they'd ever seen. Locals believe the birdmen are harbingers of doom. Wherever they are sighted, disaster often follows. Whether it's a fatal accident, a sudden storm, or an inexplicable disappearance. Some even link these creatures to the infamous Mothman of West Virginia, suggesting they may be part of the same paranormal phenomenon. 7. The singing forest. The idea of a forest that sings might sound enchanting, but in the Appalachians, it's anything but. The singing forest is known for its eerie, inexplicable sounds, whispers, cries, and even songs that seem to come from deep within the trees. Many hikers have reported hearing their own names called softly from the woods, only to find no one there. Others have heard old, haunting lullabies that grow louder the deeper they venture into the forest. One particularly disturbing tale comes from a man who was hiking alone when he heard the sound of a child crying. Following the noise, he found himself hopelessly lost. Hours later, he stumbled upon his own campsite, even though he'd been walking in a straight line. Some believe the voices belong to spirits of those who died in the forest, luring others to share their fate. Others think the forest itself is alive, using its eerie melodies to trap the living. 6. The faceless stalker. Imagine driving alone down a deserted mountain road late at night. The air is heavy, the silence is suffocating, and the darkness stretches endlessly ahead. Then, out of nowhere, you see a figure walking along the roadside. At first, it looks like an ordinary person, until you realize they have no face. Known as the faceless stalker, this entity is said to appear only to those traveling alone through the Appalachian wilderness. Drivers who've encountered it report seeing the figure multiple times in their rearview mirrors, getting closer with each glance. Some claim it taps on their windows, while others say it vanishes the moment they stop their car. 5. The Forbidden Valley. The Forbidden Valley is a place so ominous that even locals refuse to speak its name. Nestled deep within the Appalachian wilderness, this valley is said to be cursed, a no-go zone where strange phenomena and unexplained disappearances are the norm. Maps of the area often leave it unmarked, as if pretending it doesn't exist can protect people from whatever lurks there. One particularly chilling account involves a seasoned hunter who ventured into the valley with his trusted dog. He planned to spend the day tracking deer but was met with an eerie silence as he entered the valley. No birds, no rustling leaves, just an oppressive stillness. Hours later, he emerged alone, disoriented, and unable to recall what had happened. He could only describe a deafening ringing sound that seemed to invade his mind. His dog was never found. Another story comes from a group of campers who set up their tents near the valley's edge. They were awakened in the middle of the night by a blinding light that seemed to pulse through the trees, accompanied by a low, vibrating hum. Panicked, they abandoned their campsite and ran back to their car. When they returned the next day to retrieve their belongings, everything had been destroyed, as if some massive force had flattened the area. Theories about the Forbidden Valley range from natural electromagnetic anomalies to more sinister explanations, such as hidden government experiments or ancient curses. Whatever the truth, those who've been there say one thing: don't go looking for it. 4. The Weeping Water Woman. The legend of the Weeping Water Woman has haunted Appalachian rivers and waterfalls for generations. She's said to appear as a pale, sorrowful figure, her cries echoing through the night, drawing people closer to the water's edge. Locals say her story begins centuries ago, when a young mother drowned while trying to save her children during a sudden flood. Consumed by guilt and grief, her spirit became tethered to the water, forever searching for her lost family. But her cries aren't just expressions of sorrow, they're a trap. Those who approach her are said to feel an invisible force dragging them into the depths, never to resurface. One fisherman recounted his terrifying encounter with the weeping water woman. He was casting his line near a secluded river bend when he heard a woman sobbing. Thinking someone needed help, he called out but received no reply. As he moved closer to the sound, he felt a sudden chill and saw a figure standing in the water, her face hidden beneath long, wet hair. Before he could react, he felt himself being pulled toward the river by an unseen force. He managed to break free, but swore he heard her voice calling after him as he fled. Today, locals warn against venturing near rivers or waterfalls alone at night. If you hear her cries, don't follow them. It might be the last thing you ever do. 3. The Appalachian Wendigo. The Wendigo is a horrifying creature more commonly associated with the northern United States and Canada, but stories of its presence in the Appalachians have surfaced over the years. This skeletal, corpse-like being is said to have glowing eyes, sharp teeth, and an insatiable hunger for human flesh. According to legend, the Wendigo is born when a person succumbs to cannibalism in a moment of desperation. Consumed by guilt and hunger, they transform into a monstrous entity, forever cursed to roam the wilderness in search of victims. One chilling tale from the Appalachians involves a group of hikers who got lost during a brutal winter. Days later, only one survivor was found, wandering aimlessly near the edge of a forest. He was emaciated, his clothes torn, and his eyes wild with fear. He kept muttering about being chased by something that wasn't human. Rescuers found no trace of the other hikers, but deep in the woods, they discovered a cave filled with bones, some of them human. Many who've encountered the Wendigo describe hearing its guttural growls and seeing glowing eyes just beyond the tree line. Others report an overwhelming sense of dread, as if the creature can sense their fear and uses it to draw them closer. The legend of the Wendigo serves as a grim warning about the consequences of desperation and the thin line between survival and monstrosity. 2. The Black-Eyed Children. Few Appalachian legends are as unsettling as the tales of the Black-Eyed Children. These beings appear as young children, usually between 6 and 12 years old, and are often seen wandering alone or in pairs. They seem lost or in need of help, but something about them is deeply wrong. Their eyes are completely black, devoid of whites or pupils, giving them an otherworldly and terrifying appearance. The children are known to knock on doors late at night, asking to be let in. They speak in monotone voices, using strange phrases that don't seem natural for their age. Witnesses describe feeling an overwhelming sense of dread in their presence, as if their very essence radiates danger. One account comes from a couple who encountered two black-eyed children on a remote road. The children were standing by the side of the road, staring at their car. The couple stopped, thinking they were in trouble, but when they rolled down the window, the children simply said, "Let us in. We need a ride." Terrified, the couple sped off. Later, they found strange scratches all over their car, as if something had tried to force its way inside. Some believe the black-eyed children are demons or spirits taking on human form. Others think they may be alien hybrids, abandoned to observe humanity. Whatever they are, one thing is clear. If you encounter them, do not engage. 1. The Night Wind's Whisper. Finally, we come to one of the most haunting legends of the Appalachian Mountains, the night wind's whisper. This eerie phenomenon is said to occur on stormy nights, when the wind rushes through the valleys with unnatural force. But it's not just the sound of the wind that terrifies those who hear it, it's the voices carried within it. People who've experienced the night wind's whisper describe hearing faint, disembodied voices calling their names. Others report hearing snippets of conversations, cries for help, or even sinister laughter. The voices seem to come from everywhere and nowhere, echoing through the mountains as if the land itself is speaking. One chilling story involves a man camping alone during a thunderstorm. As the wind howled outside his tent, he began hearing whispers that seemed to grow louder and more distinct. At first, they were unintelligible, but then he clearly heard someone calling his name. When he stepped outside, there was no one there, just the wind. He packed up and left immediately, vowing never to return to the mountains. Some believe the whispers are the voices of those who died in the mountains, their souls trapped and carried on the wind. Others think it's the mountains themselves, alive and conscious, warning intruders to stay away. Whatever the truth, one thing is certain. If you hear the wind calling your name in the Appalachians, don't answer. So, which of these legends sent shivers down your spine? Have you ever experienced anything strange in the Appalachian Mountains? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more chilling stories like these. And before you go, check out the video appearing on your screen right now. It's full of more mysteries to keep you up at night. Stay safe and remember, some things are better left unexplored.